poll recently shows that a fifth of Americans aren't sure that President Obama is actually Christian, even knowing he says he is. And as a man of the cloth, what do you think he's doing wrong and not kind of making it clear?
Well, it would be helpful if he would participate in things like the National Day of Prayer that all the other presidents have participated in. He certainly found time to host a Ramadan dinner. But, I'm not going to question his faith or whether he's a Christian or not. But it certainly would be helpful if he would show a little love to the people who are unapologetically Christian. And I think that there's some things, being a part of National Day of Prayer could go a long way toward that. And leading the example of attending worship. He said one of his highest priorities when he got to Washington would be to find a church. And I hope he's still mapping that out.
Do you think that his stance on reaching out to Muslims is putting at risk his relations with the Christian community?
Well, I don't mind him reaching out to Muslims as long as he's reaching out to them in the same way that he's reaching out to Christians or people who are Jewish. But what I've seen is that he has chastised the Jewish people for wanting to have neighborhoods for their children to grow up in. He's certainly not been overwhelmingly kind to Christians who have a real conscience issue of things like abortion and reversing Mexico City policy. So I'd just like for him to redistribute the wealth a little bit when it comes to the charity that he's showing.
So you've been traveling the nation this week, various stops, firing up the Republican base. What have you been telling them, and what have you been hearing from them?
Well, one thing is, to me, very evident. There is an energy that I've never seen before, ever. And I remember 92 and 94 and several sort of watershed moments, but nothing like what we're seeing this year. And I think it's a great reminder that the individual in America still matters. And people argue about what the Tea Party is and what it's about. I'll tell you, the power of it is that it's ordinary Americans who've had enough. And I think it's the best thing that's happened in my lifetime to the political structure. Will it always be perfect and support the candidates that I necessarily would support? Not necessarily, but that's okay. We could pick 535 names out of the phone book, and we couldn't do a whole lot worse than what we've got now.
And are you running for president in 2012? Maybe you're just considering it. And if you and Sarah Palin were to end up running on the GOP ticket for the nomination, who would get like the Tea Party and the kind of anti-establishment support that you've so garnered in your recent runs?
Well, you've asked me to go from being a politician to a prophet, and I'm not one, so I'm not even venturing there to make that prediction.